Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us here on the show. Families of the two pupils found dead in a taxi at Kpetoe in the Volta region have petitioned the Inspector General of Police over what they describe as a deliberate attempt by some persons in the region to cover up the cause of deaths of the children. The bodies of Collins Ahobo, who is 4, and Goodluck Wayo, 6, were found squeezed in between the front and rear seats of an abandoned taxi parked on the premises of Ben Oxford Academy hours after school. The families are saying that they're yet to be served with an autopsy report almost 3 weeks since the incident. We have a member of the family joining me in studio, and also the police will give us an update on their investigation so far. But first, here's the reports that we brought to you when the news first broke.
Residents in Kpetoe in the Agotime district were thrown into a state of shock and grief after 2 pupils of the Ben Oxford Academy were found dead in the evening of Thursday, 22nd February 2018. The lifeless bodies of Collins Ahobo and Goodluck Wayo, aged 4 and 6 respectively, were found squeezed in between the front and rear seats of an abandoned taxi parked in the school premises. Collins, who met his untimely death on his birthday, had blood stains on his face and a wound on the left shoulder, while a foamy substance was seen oozing out of Goodluck's mouth. According to relatives, the children were not found in a taxi during an earlier search in the late afternoon of Thursday, when news broke that the children were missing. Families of the deceased are therefore of the strong conviction that their children were kidnapped and kept in this uncompleted building and later dumped in the taxi parked in front of the building after they were killed.
It was around 9 to 9:30 thereabout, and we just heard a shout and a wailing at the compound side. So the whole town rushed to that direction, and I was called. I'm also making a rounds with my brother with tricycle in the town, just trying to get these 2 handsome guys. So we heard the news. We all rushed there, hoping that we'll get our children alive. But suddenly we got there. People were crying, wailing that they've killed our children. In fact, it was not very easy that day. It left with some small time that I killed myself.
The corner of Kpetoe traditional area, Nenenwo Keteku, alleged the incident might be a ritual murder and appealed to the police to fish out the culprits to make the community safe for residents. The owner of the school was seen making a sacrifice on the campus. He was summoned and the chiefs punished and fined him a ram and its accompanying drinks. So when this event occurred, we casted our minds back and realized some of these school owners engage in human sacrifice for the progress of their schools. This has never happened before. Big Ben only performed a prayer ritual when he was caught. So we would be very surprised if the children should turn out to be his sacrificial lambs. This is the second time he, Big Ben, has been involved in such ritual situations, and if care is not taken, it might soon start to run a serial killing syndicate. I am appealing to the police to do their investigations and arrest anybody found culpable of committing such an abominable act. Wife of the owner of Ben Oxford Academy, Grace Amuzu, who was disturbed such an incident occurred in her immediate environment, could not understand why residents would be fingering his husband to have masterminded the killing of the children.
The children were bare-chested when we found them. I immediately shouted for help. As a mother, I am feeling so much pain. I couldn't eat since the incident occurred. I only drink water. I am saddened by the death of these young ones. My husband established 2 schools in this community. He paid teachers with money he got from selling farm produce. The schools were later absorbed into the public system. He was also very instrumental in the establishment.
Those two children may have suffered a lot before they die. May their souls rest in peace. In the studio with me is Reverend Samuel Egbarimuta. He's a family member. So thank you very much for coming. And I also have on the phone DCOP Francis Doku. DCOP Francis Ebenezer Doku. He's a Deputy Volta Regional Commander. Sir, thank you very much for your time here on the show.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Right. May I find out from you what the latest information is about the two children who were killed?
Well, let me give you, thank you. Let me give you a brief background to the case.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, on 22nd February 2018, around 8:30 p.m., one Idora Hobu, who is a community policing assistant stationed at the Kpetoe District Police Headquarters, reported the loss of his son, Collins Ahobu, age 4 years, and a friend of Collins, who is Goodluck Wayu, both of Ben Oxford Academy at Kpetoe. Consequently, a search party was organized, and both pupils were found trapped dead in a blue and yellow unserviced Daewoo taxi cab with registration number GT 4686-11. They were found with foam coming out of their mouths. A report was quickly made to the police, and the police moved in, picked the bodies, and deposited them at the regional hospital in Hu. On 26th, that's 5 days later, the case was referred to the regional CID for further investigation. Now, as a matter of course, in our investigations, on the 22nd of February, the two bodies were sent to the police hospital for a postmortem examination. On 5th March, a postmortem was conducted on the two bodies, that is Goodluck and Collins. And it was found out that they died out of carbon monoxide poisoning as a result of they being trapped in a car. The autopsy was done by Superintendent Dr. Usu Efriye. I wish to also state that the autopsy was done in the presence of relatives of the two deceased pupils. Copies of the coroner's form, which indicate the cause of death, were handed over to the families. The bodies have since been brought to the regional hospital morgue, waiting for the family to organize their burial. As we speak, the regional CID is seriously investigating to get to the bottom of the matter.
Okay.
So far, this is where we are.
Okay.
Let me also state that as tension was mounting up within the community, myself and the district commander had to go and cool them down, that the autopsy will be done, and we would want the autopsy to be done in the presence of relatives of the deceased.
Okay. So
we have gone through all the processes that we need to go through.
That you needed to go through. And I have a spokesperson for the family here in the studio right now, and to some of the things that you said, he seemed to agree. But to some of the things that you said, he shakes his head in disagreement, and I'm going to just find out from him, because they've raised some concerns. They've actually petitioned your boss, the IGP. Let me just, sir, thank you very much once again for your time.
Thank you.
You don't seem to agree with the response that the police is giving.
Yes.
You say that 3 weeks after the incident, you've not had the autopsy report.
Yes.
But he says the autopsy report has been given to the family.
This is the copy of what they give to the family. This is not an autopsy report.
Okay, so I'm going to put this on the camera so you can have a look at it. This is the report that the family says they have.
Yes. When
so in this report, I see a date, and then they've written, it's like a piece of note.
Yes.
And it says date. Date is 3/12/2018, and the cause of death is carbon monoxide poisoning trapped in a car. and it is signed by Superintendent Dr. O. Owuswe-Friye.
So
okay.
Not the complete book as I can see, just only a piece of paper.
So this is what you got. And so this is a photocopy that you have done?
Yes.
Okay.
We have the originals here with us.
Okay. So DCOP, may I find out from you if this is the standard autopsy report? Because the family thinks that it is not.
That is a standard autopsy report,
this
because
cannot be a standard
the
report.
pathologist,
No.
the pathologist's work is to find out the cause of death. And they are normally summarized in 2 or 3 lines. That is what is done.
Okay,
if you
so
look further at the paper, you find that is on the coroner's form.
Sir.
And at the back of it, that is where we have the pathologist's report.
Okay, so let him give.
Let
Let's
me
give him.
emphasize that the autopsy was done in the presence of relatives of the deceased.
So that's another thing that we'll verify.
Let me hint a point to you, sir. The children died on the 22nd of February 2018. And on the 23rd, you extracted the corpse by 11 p.m. rather, and on the 23rd morning, 23rd of February 2018, the CID at Kpetoe went to the court with an inquest and a coroner asking the judge to order the registrar of death to issue a burial permit for the children, even without any investigation.
So
I have the coroner with me here, signed by the magistrate, by the court. And at the back of the, you did not even give this coroner to the family on that 23rd. It was with the police until the 5th, according to my source, which is the senior brother to Mr. Edward Ahobu, the father to Collins Ahobu, who is downstairs right now in the studio with me. This paper was given to one of the Ahobu family on the 5th of March. That was the day they went to get the report for the post-mortem. Okay. And according to the young man, he was asked to leave. He even said it in front of the commander at home. I was there with the commander. Was the family represented at the autopsy, when the autopsy was done? Yes, the young man represented the family, who is an immediate senior brother to the father of the deceased, late Collins Ahobu. Okay. His name is popularly known as Lukman.
So you disagree with the police on a few things. What are you saying? Exactly what do you say they have done wrong? He says that this is usually a report that who conducts the autopsy would write. It's a piece of paper, and of course it is stamped.
Madam, we know it is stamped. You say an autopsy does not consist of just writing. Okay. You type an autopsy. There are so many things to be filled into an autopsy, like the cause of death, then the relative cause of death. And then there is another 1.28.2. Maybe if the child has a disease or something that may have aided or contributed to the death of the child. Now, in this picture, we have so many things in our hands here.
You have some pictures. I will go through those pictures. But DCOP, you said that you are investigating. What exactly are you investigating after you established the cause of death to be carbon monoxide?
We have prepared a docket, and it's in the process of being sent to the Attorney General's department for him to advise as to whether we could go ahead and prosecute.
Exactly what do you want from the
problem, what we really want is this, DCOP. You see, we the family of the child, we are not satisfied with this report. We are asking for a reautopsy and a CAT scan. At least in Ghana, we are forensic experts.
So
who
you
can
want
take fingerprints of the child and of the vehicle. None of this was done. The children were extracted without even a glove. The policemen who extracted the children did not put on a glove. So we want at least the police should do something that will bring the culprits to light. We are not against the police. We are not mentioning anybody, but we want the police to help us in bringing the culprits to justice. There should be justice in Ghana.
You obviously have some suspicions, and we'll go through your suspicions. But DCOP, you said you're going to prosecute somebody. Have you made any arrests?
No, we only invited the proprietor of the school, took his statement, and that is the angle that we are investigating towards. And like I said, when we are done, as we speak, the docket is being prepared for the AG's office. The AG will now study the docket and advise on whether we have a case to prosecute or there is no case for us to proceed further.
Okay. There are a few observations that they make. They have some photos here, and I'll have him explain. So I see a photo here, and there's sand, and in the sand there are spots of blood in the sand. Then there is a taxi. This you have titled Exhibit B. I'm not quite sure what it means. Please explain to us why you think this picture negates what the police is saying.
Okay, according to the source through which I got this picture, he's a CPA official, a community police assistant in Kpetoe. I got him there. He was the one that went to snap these pictures. That is a day after the children had been extracted from the taxi. When the family went when a search party was carried out, and the proprietor was like trying to stop them from entering, they forced in and they were able to search the place, and they got this picture and they went to report to the police. But the police, I don't know if they decided to come or not, but a community police assistant came down and snapped all these pictures. Okay. So these pictures are the things that we wanted the police to work on, but up till now, no forensic, no post-mortem report, nothing to prove that somebody, even the man whom we are talking about right now, has not been arrested or nothing has been done.
Yes, he says that they've taken his statement and they're investigating the statement, and then the Attorney General will decide whether or not the statement given by the man will warrant any further case against. Does that settle the matter for you?
No, not until we have a re-post-mortem. We are not satisfied with this post-mortem report. Okay. We want a re-post-mortem. That's what we are asking the Inspector General of Police to and the Attorney General of the nation to do for us. We want justice. We are not against the police and their work, but we want the truth to come out. And the way we are seeing it, the truth is not coming out.
That doesn't mean that if you say you want the truth to come out, the police will have to work to establish the truth about what.
Yes. So
but if you say what they have done is not the truth, are you trying to say that you know the truth already?
I'm not saying I know the truth already. Okay. Neither am I saying what they have done is not the truth. But right now, with the way things are going, we need a re-post-mortem. The families are not even sure because the post-mortem was not carried out in the presence of the family members. They were excused.
But you just said that someone was there. You said a young man represented the family.
He represented the family, but he was excused.
DCOP, is this true? Is this correct?
The young man even gave the same evidence in front of the commander of the police at home. No, I was with the commander.
I don't understand why he says nobody was allowed in.
He said that he was allowed in.
As far as we know, there was somebody present at the time that the autopsy was being done.
Sir, okay. Sir.
But having said that, it is their right to appeal for a second postmortem to be done. Okay. So if that is what they think will satisfy their suspicion, they can go ahead. Okay. We can ask for a second opinion.
This will be not even a postmortem. We would like a CAT scan and forensic to be carried out at the scene of the crime. Because definitely if the kids died there, we would know everybody's fingerprints is in the computer here in Ghana. It's in the record. So if a fingerprint scan or a CAT scan is taken of the car, the internal and the external, any fingerprints found in the vehicle, it doesn't matter. They run it through the computer and they can get the culprits.
Okay. DCOP, thank you very much for your time. But quickly, there's another photo here. And in this photo, you're saying that you see sand on the dress of the children. Yes, and you see, and you think that they must have been killed somewhere else and brought to the taxi?
That is the suspicion of the family and everybody in the family. Because with the way the kids, if you
let's show this to our viewers so they can understand what we're talking about.
If you look at the picture very well, you see that even the children's uniform has sand on it, and I'm not.
And that makes you suspect that what?
That makes us, the family members, suspect that the children did not die in that car with either through carbon monoxide poisoning. I was even stressing on this point. I've been a driver for over 28 years. Carbon monoxide can only come from fumes of a vehicle or maybe when the children are locked up in a place where they have less oxygen and more carbon dioxide coming out of their nostrils. But in this case, if the children enter this car, they could have opened the car and come out.
Well, they could have been trapped in the car. But anyway, that's a bit of forensic information.
According to the sources, at the time the police went there to extract these children, they opened the door without forcing it and the door opened.
Okay, so let me just add, but you do know that they're children, so we can...
Madam, one of them is almost 8 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, but let me just also mention that we've looked up the symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah. And if you look at the pictures, they were foaming, etc. Foaming of...
and also blood.
Right. So foaming is actually one of the symptoms of carbon monoxide
Yes,
poisoning.
we know that.
What I did not find is blood. But let me give the final word to DCOP. DCOP, to wrap up this conversation, sir. DCOP Doku, thank you very much for your time, but I'll give you the final word. But quickly, it's unfortunate that you can't see us because we have a sample of how a post-mortem report should actually look like.
Yes.
Well, I believe you're watching. Let's show that to you because it is very different from the reports that you've given the family, which they are, of course, contesting. So this is how, ideally, an autopsy report should look like. Yes. But what we have here is a piece of paper with inscriptions from a police officer. That doesn't quite cut it. So, sir, let me give you this as a final word, and then we move on. DCOP, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Please, let's take your final word on the post-mortem report, or if you want to, talk about any other thing,
Well, as I said earlier on, if a first opinion is given and you think you are not satisfied, you have the right of appeal to have a second one. So if they think that they are not satisfied with the kind of report that they have, we will go ahead and conduct a second one.
Okay. That's great. In the meantime, you say you're investigating the owner of the school who has given his statements, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Should the family members expect any feedback, and how soon?
Well, the day I went to calm them down, in fact, it was a very large gathering. They were very, very uncompromising. But at the end of the day, we managed to prevail upon them to hold their peace. Okay. And so if they demand that they want to have a second post-mortem, we will do it. Then at the end of the day, whatever result comes out, we will go back to the community to tell them.
Okay. DCOP, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. DCOP Francis Ebenezer Doku is the Deputy Commander, the Volta Region Police Command there. I've also had here in the studio a representative of the family there, obviously very unhappy. They've petitioned the IGP. They want a second post-mortem done. The officer said it will be done. Does that give you, the family, any rest?
For now, we will be expecting another post-mortem, and at the same time, a forensic report from the police force, because that will give us clear indications that the children either died because according to their report, they said unnatural death, even if it is carbon monoxide poisoning. These children couldn't have swallowed carbon monoxide or whatever in the school premise and killed themselves and then thrown themselves into that taxi, which is quite not corresponding to what they are giving to us. Okay. So that is it.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your time and for coming, and we hope that justice will come for these children. Of course, the police says they're doing their job. Mr. Samuel here represents the family of the two boys who have died.